Welcome to Bass University Live. Guess what? Auburn University is in the house at the Bass University today. We're very excited to have Tucker Smith and Hayden Marbut, the national champs at the Bassmaster event, punched their ticket to the classic bracket. Very exciting. These guys have been really crushing it. They've won at the high school level. Uh, they've won now at the college national level. It's just an amazing story. We're really excited to have both of these guys on, telling us how they did it. Really, I mean, there's so many kids in the high school and college program now. Very excited, to see how this program is developed. And I know a lot of you guys are wanting to see how they did it. How can you take your fishing next level? Get competitive with some of these great schools like Auburn. And of course, we have Alex Morrison coming on too. We've got the elites going on right up the street, pretty far up the street, really, up north on Lake Champlain, still arguably the greatest body of water in the history of the world. Still fishing like that. And Alec is just on fire after his massive win at Rayburn. Now he had a fifth place at Thousand Islands. He just constantly check anytime they go to Lake Champlain. So he's going to help us with a little preview on what's going to be happening up there for the elite boys and with the largemouth and the smallmouth. And that's all going on today's show, brought to you by Tackle Direct. We're here at Tackle Direct Studios. Want to invite you guys to check them out. All the best tackle and customer service, second to none. And I've got Riz with me. How you doing, Riz?
I'm doing great, Pete. It's going to be a fun show. I'm excited to talk to all of our guests, the college boys from Auburn, and then talking to Alec again about Lake Champlain. Like you said, Pete, he's just constantly in the check line up there. So it'll be cool to hear his take on things because there's some unique stuff going on at Champlain this year. The water level's still high.
The water level is the big change. That's right.
I'm interested to hear what Alec's take is going to be on that, because that's a dynamic that we haven't seen before on Champlain, at least in the last several years. For big events. We might be able to see some fun fishing this term. Not that I don't want to see guys go out and catch them on smallmouth, deep offshore stuff, but if I see a guy like Greg Hackney up in the pencil reeds, that'll make my bones jump a little bit. So
I think that might happen. It really is amazing because you say that, and you were of course up there for the BFL, and we were talking about your practice as you were going through that, and you told me that the water was up, and it hadn't been up for a decade. I've been going up there fishing those tournaments, and it's always about, oh my gosh, the water's low. If you're a largemouth guy, are you going to be able to get to where you want to get? Half the habitat's out of the water, and of course now the water's up. And remember, and I know I told you about it. The great Roland Martin won up there. I think the first time Bassmasters went there. Flipping a jig, a black and blue jig with an Uncle Josh pork rind.
In those pencil reed clumps. So
yeah, it could happen again.
It could happen.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It'd be a fun one to watch.
It's been a smallmouth fest up there chronically, which is awesome. It's got great smallmouth, but through the summer, it's typically a smallmouth deal. Largemouth have not been a factor, and usually they start showing up in. I'm anxious to talk to Alec about it. Let's see what his take is on it. As we get into the fall, you see largemouth being a bigger and bigger factor. But hey, that's the show today, guys. It's going to be a great one. I want to invite you guys watching over on social to like and share the feed. We've got a great gift pack with Waterwood custom baits for you guys. And we also have a grand prize, as always. So pay attention because we're going to be giving away a grand prize. Jocelyn, what's our prize today?
We have some Rapala DT16s. There's two different ones. We have a Bass University rod sleeve and a Cortland line
spool.
I can think of the word.
Filler spool pack of master braid. Jake, by the way, my son Jake is fishing all the time now. I'm really enjoying that. And I'm really looking forward to talking to these guys from Auburn because man, Jake's interested. He wants to do the high school fishing thing now. And, we're looking down the road at possibly, college fishing. So
couldn't have two better guys to talk to about
it. Right. It's pretty awesome. It's been a lot of fun. Me and Jake been out on the Delaware River trying to catch what we can catch and having fun doing it. Guys, so we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back with the guys from Auburn University. So don't forget, like and share the feed. Before we go, I also want to invite you guys. We got a brand new promotion going on at Bass University, Jocelyn. What's happening?
We have our Summer Slam. So for 3 months, you get it for only $19.99. So this is the perfect time if you want to test Bash U out and you have 3 months to watch over 1,000 videos. It's only $19.99.
Yep.
It's back to school time. It is back to school time for a lot of schools, especially down south. They start getting back into school in August. But let me tell you something. This is a great time of year. I don't care. You're sitting in a tree stand, listening to Bash U, wherever you are. This is a great time to pick up on a skill set that maybe you've put off. Maybe you're not comfortable with a lot of stuff like tight line and some very innovative new techniques that are all available over on Bass University TV right now. So get signed up. It's a great opportunity to do it. 3 months for only $19.99. It's amazing window into Bass University TV.
Absolutely. Learn from the best, guys. I mean, really at Bass U, that's what we strive to do. This week, we got some awesome releases coming out. Like always, we have Matt Heron Versatility is this week's classroom seminar. And that's a really good one. Matt's an Alabama guy, but he's also really good with his finesse fishing, being a Coosa River honk guy that, he's very versatile with the shaky head. He's very versatile with the swim bait, but at the same time, he can beat anybody pitching a jig going right behind him. So he's an awesome one to learn for. And guys, next week we are releasing Matt Becker on tight lining, your AOY from the BPT season this year.
Talk to me, Rich.
Yes, and it's a great smallmouth seminar. It's almost everything that he did all year to get into the AOY championship and win that title for the BPT. So definitely want to check that one out when it gets released as well. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. I'll never forget Matt Airy came on and he did a seminar for us about stroking the jig. He won the tournament doing it, and we had him on to talk about it, and it was so innovative. I'll never forget watching it where he's snapping that line up off the surface of the water, making that line pop. And how he describes how he does that to make the jig do what he wants it to do. Mm-hmm. Very, very, advanced angler, a great teacher. Glad to have him with us at Bass University. So you're not going to want to miss that. Those releases coming up. Guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're going to be talking with the guys from Auburn University right after this. I'm Pete Gluzak, the Dean of the Bass University, and we're excited to partner with Waterwood Baits and showcase their innovative handmade approach to making amazing lures.
Hey guys, this is Elite Series Pro Todd Alton here. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about the company Waterwood and their crankbaits and topwaters they're building. They're high quality baits. They're made from a marupa wood that's, grows in the rainforest in Brazil. It's 1.5 in all the Waterwood baits because of the wood will be a staple in my arsenal from here on out. I love it. Spotted bass. It's got the old Waterwood.
The leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. AquaView. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love casting fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That they're made right here in North Carolina in the USA.
Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick. Every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out there in a tournament.
Durability in the John Cruz Worman series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
On the water not spent fishing is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together. The One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically. They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
Cortland Line Master Braid, America's premium super braided fishing line. Manufactured in our Cortland, New York facility and constructed from the highest quality Spectra fibers available. Cortland Line Company, made in America since 1915.
I have to have the best eyewear.
My eyes are essential to doing my job.
It's the highest quality lens that I've ever used.
Top of the line performance in these glasses.
But they're priced for absolutely everyone. The everyday angler can afford them.
As a touring professional pro, if I can depend on them, I know the weekend angler can as well. Hobie eyewear, built for the pros.
Priced for everyone.
Hey guys, welcome back. Bass University Live. There's a really good deal. We love our folks at AquaView, and they've got a great opportunity for you guys to get the AquaView Micro Revolution 5.0. It's retails for $599.99. Right now at Tackle Direct, it's $399. $200 off. Huge, guys. This is Gray Buck was just in here and in studio 2 shows ago, and talking about how he loves the Micro Revolution because just being able to understand and interpret whether he's on what species of fish he's on, whether the brush pile has fish in it, whether it's what kind of brush. He can just drop that micro down with a real small spool and get a look at what he's dealing with. So many guys, it's been a secret out on tour for quite a few years, but the secret's out. And you guys can get into one for, I don't know, that's almost half off, not quite, but quite a great opportunity over there at tackledirect.com. Go check it out, guys.
I want to give a quick shout out to everyone on the message board
Who's
for joining in. We have Howie, Dan Allen, Blake Bailey, Tuck, Jeremy, Coach. We haven't seen you in a while. Coach. St. Cress, Nick Mayberry, and a lot more. But I do want to give a shout out to Tuck. He has a tournament on Saturday, and we want to wish him luck. Also, I found out how Dan Allen keeps winning. He says, I rely on internet for work, so I have fiber straight to my house. But he did say, everyone pay attention. Is anyone going to dethrone him?
Oh, he's laying down the gauntlet.
Talking a little smack. I like it. I just told the whole message board, come on with it.
Man, he's earned the right to talk a little smack.
Yeah.
He does.
I mean,
it's a Dan Allen prize pack now.
It is impressive, though, because it's not like we're just pulling random facts from the internet. We're taking it from the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're taking spots from the show. So he really is. He's keeping the pencil sharp, Pete. He's paying attention.
Wait a minute. Is AI involved here, Dan? What's going on? Are you plugging this in?
DA, not IA. Yeah. Dan Allen.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he's getting his answers so fast, but he gets them right. But pay attention. We've got a really cool prize pack.
And also, you can still beat him with the like and share prize. I mean, that's completely random. So go over and like and share our Facebook feed for a chance to win some Waterwood custom baits.
Awesome. And thank you, Waterwood, for providing that prize. How
about Justin pressing the buttons today, Pete?
How about that?
How you feeling over there, kid?
Just hanging around, doing all right. Trying to live up to your reputation.
Justin, the intern, is being promoted over there in the producer's chair. How's that? Is it comfortable yet? It's only been about 10 minutes.
I'm pretty comfortable over here.
Look at you.
Just hanging around.
All right. Well,
he's so mellow.
You need to be mellow. You need to be mellow in that spot. You need to be cool under pressure. Because as all of you know, that our feed never goes the way we want it to. Everything always goes sideways. And
Pete, we have a barn dominium getting built next door.
Every once in a while, you have a construction project going on outside the window there, which we happen to be at. If you guys hear that noise, that's what's going on. The Bass University studios are in an expansion mode right now. So good to have you with us, Justin.
Good to be here, Pete.
And we've got a great couple of guests, right? These guys have just won the Bassmaster College National Championship on Lake Pickwick. And they did it in style, winning wire to wire. It's not their first time, Rich. They've done this before.
Yeah, they have.
On the high school level, they moved it into the college level. They're just killing it. And we're really excited to have them with us. Tucker Smith and Hayden Marbut. Man, thanks for being with us today.
What's up, guys? For having us.
Welcome to the show. And man, what an amazing win. Guys I mean, you were blasted all over Bassmaster.com. Seemed like again. And you guys had a wire to wire win. That's impressive. Have you guys come down off cloud nine?
It's been super insane. Honestly, all the support that we've gotten, it's been crazy. And, being able to win the high school national championship together with Hayden, and then to be able to transform that into college and be able to fish with him in college and get the college dub in the national championship, it's really special. And I don't think it's something that a lot of people have done. I think maybe only one person has done that before. I don't think another team has done that. So it's been really special to do with Hayden. He's been my best friend for, the last 5 years, and to be able to do it with him, it's been pretty special.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was a crazy experience, and I know we're still kind of in shock and still on cloud nine. I can't really believe we pulled it off.
Where are you headed to right now, Hayden? You're in the truck. You going fishing?
I'm about to head back to school. We got school starting tomorrow.
Wow, yeah, it's back to school time, and I get that. Especially in a lot of colleges, guys, the campuses are getting flooded. You guys are. What year are you guys? Are you guys both the same year in school?
I'll be a junior, and Tucker will be a senior this year.
Okay, so that's pretty amazing that you guys were able to go to the same school. I mean, that had to be a pretty fun process. Be fortunate where your best friend, your best fishing buddies, and gets to attend the same school as you.
Yeah, it's been great. Me and Hayden actually live together in Auburn. We rent a house together and we keep our boats there together. So it's pretty cool. I think we're one of the only teams at Auburn we've got our own little place that we can keep our boats, and we don't have to keep that boat storage. So it's nice that we get to keep all of our stuff together. And yeah, we're always outside doing tackle or we're fishing, and it's hard to want to do class when you've got all that right beside you.
Yeah, I can imagine. What's your closest lake to Auburn?
We've got a bunch kind of right there around, within like an hour. We've got, Lake Mitchell and Lake Jordan on the Coosa, Lake Martin and Lake Eufaula, and then we've got all the little Chattahoochee lakes too. So we've got a bunch of options and a bunch of diversity right there within an hour of where we live.
Man, you sure do. And that is for all of us bass heads, that's going to be a monster distraction. How does your coach deal with that, man? Do you have to go in check out your GPA and make sure you guys are going to class? Does he do it like a lot of the college football and basketball coaches do?
So we're actually student led. We all got different positions on the team, and so we don't really have a coach. We actually do everything on our own, from sponsorships with all our different partners to booking hotels to registering for tournaments to everything like that. We actually do it all on our own.
Man,
that's
there's something to be said for that, Pete. And I'll ask these guys about that in a little bit, but I'll ask him right now.
I don't think Rich is going to class. That's what I'm I mean, he's going to be doing remote study, whether it's COVID or not. Rich is going remote.
Do you guys think that part of that process and kind of how everybody at Auburn has to take some sort of accountability for the fishing program, do you think that helps you guys on the water?
I think so. I think everybody, they've got, especially on the team, everybody's got their own role to help out. And especially we have to go get our own sponsors. We have to talk to those sponsors and do everything on our own. So it's really a good training format, I think, that we have to do it on our own. We get to go to the tournaments that we want. We don't get sent to specific tournaments. We get to go to however many tournaments we want a year and get all the prize money for if we win the tournament or, come in the top 10. So it's nice that we get to do it on our own, and it's kind of a great learning experience.
How do you guys manage the prize money? Does the prize money go to the team? Do you guys, the individuals, keep that, or how do you manage sponsorship and prize money?
So the sponsorships and everything just kind of go towards hotels and gas reimbursements and everything for all the guys on the team, and then anything we win at tournaments we get to keep, which is pretty awesome for sure.
Yeah. Well, especially the way you guys are winning. You guys are absolutely killing it. Now you guys are both so tell me about the preparation, because this is something that I'm curious about. I've talked with a few coaches and a few teams. How do you guys prepare for a tournament? Do you like when you travel as a team, do you compare notes? You guys both have a boat. Do you guys bring your own boats, or do you fish together? Take me through some of how you guys prepare for an event.
Yeah, we usually everybody usually brings their own boat, like per team. So basically me and Hayden will take one boat and then we'll go and practice for the tournament. And all the whole team is really nice to each other, and we're all great buddies. We don't necessarily, share a bunch of notes on like every tournament. We'll talk to other teammates and, talk about what's going on, but we don't really give specifics. So yeah, we basically all kind of just go out there, and if somebody needs help or anything, it's nice because, we're all a bunch of group of buddies. So if anybody ever needs any boat help or, anything like that, we're always there to help them. So it's really cool.
That's great that you guys have that connection, and the sharing of information, I think, is huge in being able to help everybody learn and grow together. So that's great that you guys participate in that. You guys you're competing in this event. This is a pretty big deal down at Pickwick. You guys dominated this event from day one. Take us through that a little bit about how you how that tournament went, how you caught them, and how you guys got yourself in the leader spot.
Yeah, so, we fished offshore the whole event. It's something that both of us are really comfortable doing. I know we both put a lot of time in on the Tennessee River, not only Pickwick, but also Gunnersville, and really the whole TVA. We both spent a lot of time out there, and ledge fishing is one of our favorite things to do. So we kind of went in, we had this one marked on our calendar, and we're like, this is what we're going to do. And so we went and scanned the whole practice, really didn't make any cast. And then, the first day we had an incredible day. I think we caught majority of our weight, almost all of it by 9 o'clock in the morning off one place, getting to throw, your fun stuff, your hair jigs, swim baits, everything like that, all the stuff you love to throw on the Tennessee River, the stuff you always hear about. And then, the second day was a little bit tougher, and you put all those guys out there, it really pressures the fish, and all those fish have been out there since May. It's August now, they're beat up, they've seen every bait. And the second day was a lot tougher on us. We only had 15 pounds, and then I'll let Tucker talk about the third day because it was pretty special.
Yeah, it was like Hayden was saying, it was, we didn't really expect the tournament to go the way it did. That first day was amazing. We had some places, and we ended up busting them pretty early, and so we were able to kind of cruise from there. But day 2 was really tough. Like he was saying, it was slick, calm, and we had to really grind for those fish. And the third day was really special because the third day we were like, we don't have much left. Most of the places that we had, they were super busted up and super spread out. So those fish were like super hard to catch. So we fished our first good spot, and we had about 12, almost 13 pounds. We bounced around a couple more places, and we were only able to cull up to about 1290, almost 13 pounds. And we were like, this isn't going to happen if we sit right here. We got to start bouncing around. We got to start doing stuff. If we want to win this tournament, we got to make something happen, pull something out of a hat. So, we started bouncing around, hitting a few different areas, and we ended up pulling up on the spot that we had scanned in the first and second day of the tournament and didn't have many fish on it. And we had scanned about 8 or 10 places, and we finally pulled up to that place. And, we had a gut feeling there were some stumps on the area, and we saw some fish roaming around those stumps. And then there was a nice break on the front side of this point that was hitting the current. And there was a little group of fish there in practice. So we pulled up to there, put the trolling motor down. We didn't want to scan it just, to make sure. We were just wanting to creep up on it, just with how pressured those fish were. And, they were loaded. And the last hour of the tournament, we pulled up to that place, and it was, just about every other cast we caught all over 3-pound fish. So it was something really special. And we caught all of our, we culled all of our fish out, caught 18 pounds right there. And our teammates were there 200 yards away with, screaming and yelling, watching us catch those fish. So it was super, super awesome.
Man, that sounds amazing.
Seriously.
We hear this so often though. It's the Rich, everybody that is winning at every level is spending their entire practice scanning.
Yep, scanning, and I heard something that rang my ears there, Pete, and it's exactly what Matt Becker had to do to win that AOI in the tournament up there at Saginaw. The last day, he had to make a crucial decision to go fish something that he hadn't fished or that had not had bites on it for the past couple days. And those are the kind of decisions that put you in the winner's circle. And it's a great event, really is.
It's always right. Tournament fishing is it's constantly going to challenge you to make those calls, and it's really hard to do. You guys were sitting on a small stringer, and what did you decide to do? Just go run some areas. Let's go look at some areas that we found at practice. Let's see if something is happening somewhere else, and you just start running points. Is that where you guys were?
Yeah, we just started, bouncing around, just trying to make something happen. We knew those 2 places that we had that we'd focused on all week, they were dried up. We'd catch 1 or 2 and they'd bust up real bad, and it just wasn't happening. So we knew, with that 12 o'clock, we had to do something. And I think, we scanned a couple of places, and then we just had a gut feeling and pulled up on that one place, and they were loaded. It was crazy.
How do you guys?
That had to be the most beautiful sight in the world.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Look down at that live screen.
We didn't think they were all bass. There were so many of them. They were so big. We were like, there ain't no way these are bass. And threw in there and caught a 3.5 pounder, and it was like we're about to smash them, dude.
How do you guys manage the the trolling motor area? With obviously forward facing sonar being such a big player in fishing now. Like, how do you guys pick who gets to cast at this one, who gets to cast at that one type of deal?
We kind of just go back and forth. Like, we've fished a lot together, and we've used live scope a lot together, so we're pretty comfortable in the boat together. So he'll throw out one and I'll throw out one, or we'll both kind of throw. And even whenever we're fishing out of Tucker's boat or something, I always try, I'll throw 5 foot to the right and 5 foot further back than he threw, just in case he was a little off, I can hit that fish that he might have missed or something, anything like that.
Man, that's good teamwork. I was, interesting you brought that up, because I was, like when you're sight fishing a fish on a bed, and you got a partner with you, I always found it better one guy throwing, right? Because you got two baits dropping on their head. It kind of makes things more challenging sometimes. And I've not fished that way with a team about, where you're seeing them. But that's a great point that you made, Hayden, about, all right, I'm watching my partner. I'm going to throw 5 yards to the right or to the left. Man, that's the way to do it. Have you found that if you guys both dump on top of their heads, it will spook them? It's a negative, right? I would guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I would say like a lot of times if you're throwing the same fish, yeah, it will spook it. But a lot of times what we do is I'll find one and I'll throw in there. And while my bait's sinking, I'll find Hayden one and he'll throw on that one. And so whenever my bait gets down to that fish, I'll start, getting that fish to try to eat it. And then by that time, I'll point back over at Hayden's and see if his is right there by that fish. So it's really something we've been working on for a while.
That is like nasty right there. That's sick. Like you're waiting for your bait to get to another. Hold on, Hayden, I got you, bro.
Yeah, that's why we try to be as efficient as possible. So,
man, that's efficiency. That's really a great efficiency, because like when I fish with Rich, he sees a fish and he hides it from me, so I can't, so he gets to catch them. It's it's really cool that you guys you got to be that way, right? If you're going to be an effective team, you've got to find a way to maximize each other's strengths and weaknesses. On any particular day. Have you guys figured that out? Like do you guys share strengths, or is one guy better at one thing? Oh, well, if it's on a jerkbait bite, I'm going to let Tucker, take charge. Or do you guys identify your strengths and weaknesses?
I feel like we've fished pretty similar. We fished for so long together. We fish kind of the same way, honestly.
Well, that's it's impressive. Talk to me about the scanning, because you're spending all your time scanning. What are you do you have like the Japanese guys do, where they have like 5,000 forward facing sonar transducers shooting out of their boat, or are you using side imaging? What were you looking for and at Pickwick, and what screens were you using to identify it?
Yeah, so I've got a Solix 15 on the back and Lowrance 12, but we were just, side scanning, looking on ledges, looking for hard spots, looking up shallow, looking kind of everywhere. Creek channel ledges, main river ledges, up on flats, just anywhere, trying to get, away from everybody, trying to see if we can find some places that were, off the beaten path. And we had a couple places in like 12 foot off some creek ledges that had some good fish on. And we also had some deep, like main river ledges that were just off the main river. And those were really productive. But yeah, once we found those schools, we were able to throw the troll motor down and use our forward facing sonar and 360 to see those fish and actually like visually catch them. So it was really cool.
So, it's about finding the habitat, but we're about finding the fish, right? Identifying those, and what are you seeing? There are a lot of people might not know what fish or schools of fish might look like on side imaging.
Yeah. So basically, like when you're looking for a school of fish, basically looks like a bunch of dots, but you've got to look at the size of the dots, because a lot of different species of fish school up, especially on Pickwick Lake. There's a lot of carp, there's a lot of gar, there's a lot of drum, there's a lot of catfish. So when you're looking at that, you want to look at places that hit the current, where the current runs up against a place and makes, a hard bottom that they can school up on. And, basically those fish, whenever they get a lot of current, especially last week, we had a lot of rain, so we had a lot of current. Actually, the current, when it kicks up, it makes those fish group up a lot better than if there was no current. So they can sit in one place and actively feed on bait. So you just want to look for those ambush points where those fish are grouped up and where they can ambush that bait.
How much current are we talking about? Because Pete and I, we're river rats, and I'm curious as to is it got to have your boat on your trolling motor on 7 type of current to even stay in one spot, or is it more of, you know, like a subtle flowing water?
Really depends on where you are. You know, Pickwick's so big, you could be down there up towards the dam or down at the bottom end towards the dam, you know, where they were pulling 70,000 the last day, and you'd definitely have to keep your trolling motor, you know, up 6, 7, anything like that. And then, but in the middle of the lake and everything like that, it just kind of mellows out, and it's not too bad, but you can definitely still feel it. It's a good steady pull.
Yeah, that current, I've fished up there a few times. That current rips at the discharge. Were you guys fishing in the heavier current, or were you down lake?
We were down the lake. You know, we were kind of like that Bear Creek state line area down to the dam.
The big part of the water down there. A lot of water to cover down there.
How do you go about identifying and finding the spots where the current hits right? Because you've mentioned that a few times now with, you know, the hard spots or where current sweeps, or like, how do you identify them? Is it through mapping? Take me down that road a little bit.
Really, any just like irregularity in mapping, you know, like if you're going down just a river ledge and there's one little part that sticks out, you know, they're going to be right there, that irregularity, because there's going to be shell build up there and everything like that.
The shells, the magic shells, they're absolutely the key. This is a kind of a question. Are you guys allowed to use nets? I don't. You are. Okay.
Yeah, we are.
I think nets should be removed. That would be awesome to watch you guys try to wrestle these fish in the boat. I know that's why they got rid of them on the elites, make it a little bit more exciting. But when you ever try to hand land those giant smallmouth, it's a pain in the neck. That would be so much fun.
Yeah,
watching these guys holler at each other when somebody screws up and misses them.
Yeah,
right at the boat.
We grab them when we're fun fishing and practice and everything, so we can practice for that one day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody's going to the Classic, right? So no nets at the Classic.
So what is so you guys now are both qualified for the Classic bracket now?
Yeah,
and that's the one that that's the one that Louis Monetti won a couple years, and that's why he was in this year. Okay, got it.
So what's that look like for you guys? Where is the bracket going to be, and how are you guys feeling about that?
Feel good. It's going to be out in Kansas on Milford Lake at the end of September. I think the bracket was there, 4 or 5 years ago, 2018 or something like that. But we're looking forward to it. It's going to be cool. It's a really level playing ground. I don't think any of these guys have ever fished out there, so it'll really show who can break down the lake the best with our 1 day of practice, and hopefully one of us can make it to the Classic.
And how does that happen? You guys will be fishing as a team. How does that work out? Are you individuals? Are you in your own boats?
Yeah, it's individual. So basically, it's like a bracket system, like basketball. Everybody goes against one person a day, and then finally it's just a 1v1 at the end. Okay, so
you'll be each in your own boat for that event?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, we wish you guys great luck at that. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are making that, so you're gonna have a great opportunity to make the big dance, which would be amazing.
We appreciate it.
I'd like to step back a little bit. In high school, you guys won big in high school. Where did you guys go to high school?
We went to Briarwood Christian School.
That's also in Alabama?
Yes, sir. It's in Birmingham.
Sir. Birmingham.
Okay. All right. Did you guys have a high school team, a high school coach in that program, or what was that like when you went through it?
Yeah, we had a high school coach and a team at Briarwood. It was started like a few years before I got there, so it'd been running for a little bit. But it was, a great group of guys, and it was fun. We fished a bunch of tournaments in high school, and it was nice because where we were located, we had a bunch of different circuits we could fish. So I think we were fishing like 4 or 5, high school tournament circuits a year. So we were fishing a bunch of tournaments. So it was really cool.
That had to be a fun process. And That's where you guys met. You guys been best friends forever. It sounds like you did. Who introduced you? Did your dads take you fishing?
Who
introduced me?
Hayden's dad took him fishing, but my dad didn't. I mean, he did a little bit. My uncle, my grandfather really got me into it. Growing up, but my dad didn't fish a ton, but he's the supportive one. He's the one that helped me out, helped me get my first boat, helped me out with that. So he's been great. And yeah, I know he's got a fishing family.
Oh yeah, I was fortunate enough to grow up with a dad that fished tournaments and everything. So I just always kind of fished. And then when I got to high school, we talked about high school fishing, so we just started fishing high school, and it's kind of evolved into everything it is today.
Did Hayden? Did you invite Tucker fishing? Is that how that worked? Is that how this got started?
I think it was through one of our mutual friends. I think he was one of my good buddies, and he started talking to Tucker a good bit, and he kind of introduced us, and we just started fishing.
Well, it's awesome. It's how most people get started. Somebody in their family takes them fishing, and it's awesome that you had that, Hayden and Tucker. You found it with a great supportive family. That's pretty awesome. What do you got going on over there, Justin?
Somebody asked earlier in the chat, and I'm curious myself. What are you guys majoring in at Auburn? What are you guys doing?
Marketing.
Yeah, business marketing. The fisherman's degree.
Yep, there you go.
Now, BKJ added to that, how does your professors handle you guys traveling so much with bass fishing tournaments? Does it affect your studies?
I would say it probably does affect our studies a little bit. I would say if we didn't fish, our grades would probably be a little bit better, but most of our professors are really lenient. The fishing team at Auburn's been around so long, with Jordan and Matt and everyone back in the day. So that everyone kind of knows about the fishing team now, and they're usually pretty cool about it, and will let us make up our work.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you guys have any specific bass fishing classes in college or high school that helped you get to where you are now? No.
No, we did not.
No, man.
The Bass University. That's
yeah, we just watched the Bass University.
Oh, yes. Right. That's a great place to get started. How's the marketing help? I mean, you guys are out on the sponsor hunt. I've met you, the group of Auburn guys at various places. You guys are out on the hunt, talking to various companies. Has your marketing studies helped you in that effort?
We think so. It's been nice, especially with Logan Parks. He was the president, and I fished with him my first couple years of college, and he really set the team up for success. Honestly, he was able to get with those sponsors, and he's a super organized guy, and he was able to bring a lot of big sponsors on board, and grow those great relationships with those sponsors with the team. So, without him, we wouldn't have been able to really get those relationships the way they are right now. So. We give big thanks to him because he kind of set the team up and alley-ooped us, the next generation of the team.
That's huge. Sure. And sponsorship is huge on any level, certainly on the college level, allowing you guys to get where you want to go. It's great that your teachers and everybody supports that, because I know a lot of the coaches have to go to bat for the instructors and,
right.
Say, hey, we need these kids out for this week and that week. So it's really cool. They allow for that. What are your thoughts about future? Right, we're going to the classic bracket. What's their future look like for you guys? Are you guys got your sights set on the Opens, on MLF? What's the plan after school?
Definitely to fish the Opens or the Toyotas or something like that. That's all we really know how to do. So I don't know what else either one of us would do if we didn't try to do something after college fishing.
Yeah, I'd say after this year, I'm going to go, fish this full year of college, and we'll see from there. I'm going to fish another division of the Opens this next year. And then after that, I'm probably going to go full force Opens and try to fish all 9 of them and see what happens.
Only doing one division. I'd like to hear your. Is that just a time thing, or do you have a logic behind it?
Yeah, it's really a time thing and getting used to the system just because we fish, I think 35, college tournaments a year. We don't have time to travel for a week at a time to go practice for an open. So, and especially with school too, it's just too much. So we'd like to, spend our focus on college and, learn as much as we can, travel around the country, learn these bodies of water before, we can actually go out there and, take it. I've got a lot of friends that fish all of them too, all the opens, and, it takes a lot of time and a lot of money, and you can't really do both at the same time.
That's a lot. How many tournaments did you say?
35.
35 college tournaments. Now, are all those tournaments, are they multi-day events?
No, there's definitely some that are just one day. A lot of our fall tournaments and stuff are just smaller tournaments, 30, 50, 100 boats, and they're just one day, but it's still fun. It's still good just to get experience. The fall season for us, we kind of travel all around the South, going to, your Lake Hartwell, Lanier, all the lakes around here. So it's great getting that experience.
Do all 35 tournaments have payouts?
I would say, yeah, if either payouts with cash or like prizes, stuff like that that's worth money.
That's a lot of tournaments, guys. It takes me 5 years to fish 35 tournaments.
I mean, we got one every weekend from the time really school starts, and that's why it's hard to, we'll go 4 weekends back to back to back to back, and to put school on top of that, we've really got to stay on our grind and, keep everything in line, because it's hard to go every week.
It must be. I'm seeing you guys at a Airbnb or a hotel room or in the back of a truck, reading, finishing an assignment, trying to get an assignment submitted. There's got to be a lot of that going on the road with so many events.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some long hours. Our whole team's like that. There's always somebody in the room staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning trying to turn in assignments just so we can go practice all day the next day at every event.
Yeah, wow. I've also got a wonderful girlfriend that's been able to help me a little bit too.
Got to work in that shout out, attaboy.
Yeah,
it takes a village, doesn't it? I don't know how to do Rich fishing daylight to dark, and coming home and doing a 2-page report, and getting that submitted. That's a monumental.
It is, and it's just we've never really dove in this far on the the college tournaments and how they all work. And talking to two guys at the same time, it really is such a great preparation system for someone that wants to either be a professional fisherman, work in the fishing industry, whatever, anything that has to do with fishing. Like, you're going to have to do those things. You're going to have to be able to talk to companies and get them to give you green foldable money if you want to do this for a living. You're going to have to be willing to work those odd, obscure hours.
Long hours.
Because, like, let's face it, you're going to want to practice. You're going to want to get your time in underwater. But guess what? It's life. There's also going to be other things, whether that's for your job, whether that's for your family, whether that's for updating a car insurance policy. Like, it's everything that you have to be able to do to succeed. And it's really cool to hear how it all goes down. And I like that Auburn has the whole student run program. They all have accountability. So when they get to that next level, it's just another day on the lake. It's they're used to the work. Yep.
That's huge. That's what college is all about. Really, is putting you through the grinder, and you guys are doing it. The question, do you offer some advice to kids that are in high school fishing right now? What's your best advice for them? Getting through these programs, going to college, becoming a better angler, doing all that stuff.
Really, I know everyone says it, but time on the water. And if anyone's thinking about coming to fishing college, it's the way to go. There's not a better stepping stone. I mean, you're getting a lot of this stuff paid for, and you're getting experience all over the country, whereas it'd be so much more expensive, I know, for me and Tucker just to try to jump in the opens or jump in some BFLs or anything like that straight out of high school and spend all this money to be traveling. We're getting our hotels paid for, a lot of gas reimbursements and stuff while going and getting the experience all over the country.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. And it's amazing that that these programs exist. My college scholarship was a Minn Kota trolling motor 17-pound thrust with a 12-volt battery that I kept in my dorm room. That was it.
Yes, sir.
Go rent a John boat. Look at how far it has come. Big question for you guys: who's the better angler?
We're both really good anglers. We don't like to say anything like that. We try to stay as humble as possible and say we're both good anglers.
You guys, I mean, this has got to be difficult, right? Like you're out there battling this, the things are going south, not going your way. Do you push each other in the water sometimes? Do you have to arm wrestle to see who gets to make the decision?
No, I would say we really work really good as a team, and I think that also comes with years of fishing together and years of time on the water, is just because we really make good decisions together, and we don't really ever butt heads. I know that's something that a lot of people do. Somebody's got something they want to do, and somebody's got another something they want to do. So we really fish alike, and to be able to get on the same boat, it's really special because we've been fishing so long together. We really, honestly, it's kind of like clockwork. We know what to do, where to move when somebody casts. We know to move the other way, get the net. It's all really like clockwork.
Man, that makes for an amazing team, because I always run into problems with a teammate because I'm always right. And it causes for conflict sometimes.
Yeah, we never should have left that grass bed this spring, Pete. They weren't up the northeast. They were in the grass.
So you can see how there's always a conflict. It's great that you guys have worked that out. You guys work so well together, and you can see it in your fishing. So we'll look forward to watching you guys out in Kansas.
We have a few questions, actually.
You got some? Jocelyn's looking at me. That always means we got some people on the IM board that want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, I'm over here waving. Now, Dan Allen wants to know: do you guys have to try out for your college team? How does that process work? That's
great. That's a great question. How do the scholarships go out, or how do you get on that team?
Really, it's basically whoever wants to fish the tournaments can fish the tournaments. So once you get into Auburn, you can go join the team. You can pay your dues, get a jersey, get on the club, and then whoever wants to get on the team and go fishing and fish those tournaments, they can fish those tournaments. So it's really nice, that open. I think we've got about 95 members in the club, so we've got a huge program. It's all student led.
Funding for all of them.
The school really, they don't really fund us a ton. That's why it's really, we kind of make the money, and we try to raise our own money through fundraising, through sponsorships and all that. Logan Parks, he just did a scholarship for us last year, so we've been starting to give out a scholarship to a new person on the team. So it's been nice. Learning the system and bringing those young guys into college through the fishing team.
Blake Bailey wants to know, what about restrictions for someone who may have waited to go to school or who left and plans to go back? So can someone leave and come back?
Like an older person?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of people that are, I think I've seen a couple 35, 40-year-old guys that fish college against us.
Wow.
Oh man, I can see thousands of 30 and 40-year-olds right now making their plans to attend any university they can go to. There's eligibility though, right? You've got 4 years is what you have on a normal sport. Is that the same in fishing?
You've got 5 in fishing.
Wow.
Okay. So you got 5 years of eligibility. Is that tied to any other sports, or if you played football for a year, does that get involved with your eligibility for fishing?
I'm not really sure.
I think it's just fishing. I think you can get 5 years of eligibility. I think MLF is 6, and I think Bass and and collegiate bass is 5. So yeah, I think you get 5 years of competing.
I still have 4 years of eligibility, guys. All right.
Dan Allen just said he's almost 50 and he's going to sign up. That's so funny.
Great. Here we go.
We're doing it.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks so much. Congratulations again on a great win, man. We appreciate you taking the time to come and hang out with us in amongst your 50 tournaments that you're fishing this year. I don't know how you're pulling that off, but it's awesome to see, and want to wish you guys the best. And when one of you guys wins, I hope you'll come back on the show.
Thank you,
For
guys.
sure. Thank y'all so much for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It was fun.
It's been a blast having you. Congratulations to you guys. Congratulations to Auburn University, and thanks so much for being on the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
What a deal.
Yeah.
What a great win again, man. These guys are just crushing it. You know?
Yep. They Auburn really has kind of become like the poster child fishing university. I mean, I know there's some other really good ones out there, obviously.
Montevello, they just won
Team of the Year.
Team of the Year.
Yeah.
Once again, Brooks Parker. Shout out to my friend
sure.
Brooks that attends there, but they just keep dominating down there. But it's amazing that how some of the schools continue to perform, like Auburn, and these guys are doing it without a mentorship, like without a coach.
Right.
You know, that shows a lot of maturity for them. And
honestly, I think it probably benefits them as anglers. You know, like they're not. I mean, as fishermen, I don't think you should ever have like just one person telling you like this is how you should go fish this lake. Like, you know, it's like they're getting it from all different angles.
Yeah.
They're working together.
We see who had an adversarial relationship with his coaches going through high school.
I wonder who.
Maybe so. We definitely should have gone up the creek that day. Yeah. So, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with Alec Morrison. We're going to be talking about Lake Champlain. If you're watching over on social, like and share the feed. Pay attention, guys. We're going to be giving away a grand prize as well. We'll be right back after this.
Cortland Line Master Braid, America's premium super braided fishing line. Manufactured in our Cortland, New York facility and constructed from the highest quality Spectra fibers available. Cortland Line Company, made in America since 1915.
I have to have the best eyewear.
My eyes are essential to doing my job.
It's the highest quality lens that I've ever used.
Top of the line performance in these glasses.
But they're priced for absolutely everyone. The everyday angler can afford them.
As a touring professional pro, if I can depend on them, I know the weekend angler can as well. Hobie eyewear, built for the pros.
Price for everyone.
And welcome back to Bass U Live. That was fun talking to those Auburn guys, Pete. I enjoyed that.
I was saying, you know, we were live on TikTok, and it's really amazing how they're, as a team, they're using forward-facing sonar to isolate casting angles, isolate fish to throw to. It's when you've got two skillful anglers working with the technology like that through an 8 to 10 hour day. I mean, that is tough to contend with.
Yeah.
And
when he said that one of the things that they do is when, you know, he casts at a fish and he sees his bait going down to it, he gets off that one and hunts up another one.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I am so far behind. I'm so far behind. It makes total sense now why guys like Alec are stomping my teeth in on Lake Champlain catching smallmouth.
Yeah.
When there's guys out there that are this good with the forward facing sonar, and I want to be flipping at a clump of grass all day.
Yep. Well, you got to marry the two. Like what Jake did at was working with him up at his nation youth tournament. He caught his first fish off of Mega Live, and we were isolating grass, outside grass clumps, and then we were able to see a fish on there, and he was able to catch his first fish with that strategy. I know now that has happened, he's gonna he's going to walk right past me with that technology.
For sure.
Mainly because he's just closer to the screen. He can see it better.
That might be a thing.
He also doesn't need glasses yet.
That's true. Thanks for pointing that out.
No problem.
We've got a champion angler, and we're glad to have him back on the show. Of course, he won famously down at Rayburn by crushing the field, and he's continued to be a performer as we expect him to be up north, just coming off a 5th place finish on Thousand Islands. Alec Morrison, thanks for being with us again.
Hey, thank you. It's great to be back, guys.
Man, it's great to have you. What that was a awesome performance up at Thousand Islands. You got to catch big ones to contend, and you did it.
Yeah, true that. It was a lot of it's about conditions and making that run and just kind of sticking with the game plan. I've never been the guy to stay upriver. Lots of nice fish upriver, and to a point, the last 2 Toyotas have not been won down in Clayton, but at the end of the day, there's just so many more big ones down there. So regardless of the event, I'm going to be making the run.
That run is a bone-jarring run, man.
Yeah, it definitely can be. There's days it's easy and just boring, but other days it can definitely be a task.
Yeah. Did you guys have some? You guys had some adverse conditions on. Was it day 2 or?
Day 1, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Day 1, the wind blew pretty dang good, and I want to say I took about a little over 2 hours to get back. Granted, I made a lot of stops to just refill my wells and make sure my fish were good, but yeah, I only got like 4 hours and change to fish on that first day.
I thought right there when you were, counting up in your head, I thought you were going to say how many waves you scooped on the run.
Nah.
That's where my mind went.
Yeah, I saw some people stuff many, but I think I only got a little wet on one.
Okay. Was it doing that nasty wind where it blows against the direction of the current, or?
Yeah, not this time around. Day 1, it was blowing with the current. So good fishing conditions, as far as getting them to bite there. But it kind of made for a rough one on the way back, just going with the waves that whole way.
Yeah, that's a rough. Well, congratulations on a great tournament up there, and you're Lake Champlain stud. This is your home. You got invaded. You're being invaded this week by a whole group of Bassmaster elite anglers, and we want to talk to you about what's happening at Lake Champlain. I know Rich and I were talking the waters up. This is a very unique condition we haven't seen for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I haven't been on Champlain since the last BFL. I can imagine it's come down a little bit, although we have had continued to have some rain here and there, some decent rain, and temps haven't been all that hot. So I can't imagine it's come down all that much since I was here last. But yeah, it's like last I saw it was like around 2 feet high, 2.5 feet high from just me judging it.
Wow.
It really is for this time of year. That's something we haven't had in a long time.
How do you think it's going to affect things? I know in the past, I guess as we get closer to September, we typically see the largemouth play a bigger role.
Mm-hmm.
With that high water, do you see that being a factor this week?
I know for sure that big largemouths on the bank will be a factor. Not necessarily on the bank, but definitely close. There's with that water being up, I already saw a switch in the largemouth from the Toyota Series event going into getting all that high water and going into the BFLs. They changed. The water came up, they slid up. So I think it'll allow for some of these guys to definitely target them a little easier and maybe get onto some patterns a little quicker. And no doubt will it play. But on the flip side, the smallmouth bite is better than ever. I think populations are doing great. I'm catching more big ones offshore than ever, I feel like. And I believe some mixed bags or some all smallmouths. The guys who commit to all smallmouths out deep are going to be really consistent as well.
Interesting. Well, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Is it going to be smallmouth, or is it going to be mixed bag, or is it going to be largemouth that win?
I think mixed bag has a really good chance. I'd like to see it be a little different and have all largemouth win up north. I think there's potential for that. It's just the amount of 4+ pound smallmouths, that are actively feeding right now, and in my opinion, pretty easy to catch. Like if you know what you're doing, where to look, and you spend time scoping around, guys like Kiowa and Taku are going to catch them really good this event.
That's interesting. The smallmouth. Now, my experience, and I want to know if yours is different. Like they seem to be unaffected by rising or falling water levels. Would you agree with that, or have you seen the water levels change their behavior?
Haven't seen this time of year. Haven't seen it change the behavior all that much. There's a thing that kind of us locals like go by a little bit, and it's like oftentimes we have our low water years. This isn't a typical low water year like we've had the last 3 or 4 years. On those years, smallmouth typically play more on the low water years, but that's not necessarily because they're biting better. It's because the largemouth are typically harder to pin down. So smallmouth become more prevalent on those years.
I got you.
Whereas these kinds of years, some higher water, I think largemouths will definitely play more. I think the dude who figures out the deep smallmouths can go spend the first half of the day catching like over 4 pounds, which is totally doable this time of year. You can get on some good groups of fish, and if they can do that and then spend the second half of the day committing for 1 or 2 really big largemouth bites, I think whoever can kind of figure out that game plan and rhythm could definitely put some big bags on scales.
Alec, why do you choose that order to go smallmouth fishing first thing in the morning and go largemouth fishing later in the day?
It could be a personal thing. I just have always gotten burned here on largemouth in the morning. Basically, I'll wait until after 12 o'clock to go start to flip and stuff, especially if the conditions are calling for it. I know you guys probably have some different ideas about that maybe, but based on where you fish. But for me, it's always been about like the spots that I like to fish largemouth here are typically better in the afternoon when the sun gets right and they get a little more positioned and stuff.
That's interesting. There's definitely bite windows, right, for both species. Depending on how you're going to fish it, and you're giving up one bite window for the other, and I guess hope you guess right.
Yeah, exactly. Smallmouths are definitely going to bite in the morning, so you can almost count on that.
Let me ask you about Ticonderoga. Let me ask you about Ticonderoga. Is that we really haven't seen that be too much of a factor in recent tournaments? What do you think?
I know it has been fishing a little better, for sure, with this water coming up. I know initially, once that water rose and it got dirty for about a week, I know fishing was extremely well down there. I was out of town at that time, and I guess I came back a little late and tried it when things seemed like things had kind of stabilized down there already by the time I got to it. And it wasn't like insane fishing by any means, but at the end of the day, I would say it's probably better this year with these conditions we're faced with right now, as opposed to this time of year and years past. So if a guy like, I know John Cox has made the run down there and multiple events and tried to get on them. They're definitely down there. I think the northern end personally is better, but whoever can figure that out could potentially catch them. Although I really don't believe they could make the run 4 days and catch them. Like big limits. I think it would be like a day or two of, some big bags out of like a grass school or something potentially. But after that, I think you're taking a risk, especially when there's so many 4-pound smallmouths, like I said earlier.
Interesting. I know Ticonderoga is. I don't know what it is about it, but we've seen guys go down there and have one big day, and then they struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about it down there. Maybe, like you said, there's the absence of those 4-pound smallmouth, which are so common up north, that can't bail you out when you need them.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're going down, you're kind of. I mean, you could give yourself time to run smallmouth stuff on the way down or back up, definitely. But yeah, for the most part, if you're going down there, you're committing to it, and it can definitely be a tough thing down there. Like you mentioned, you could, even if you do find a really big grass school and catch them really good one day, they definitely move. So being able to pin down fish of that quality, like winning caliber fish, for 4 days in a row while making the run down to tie, I don't see it. We could definitely see a big bag day 1 or day 2, on days with better conditions, guys who want to go down there and try and figure it out. And a lot of those guys, would go down there and look at it from a different perspective than I would, or any of, the locals up here would. So I could be wrong, definitely. The guys could smash them down there. I don't know. I'm not really the tie guy, to be honest with you. I suck most of the time down there.
Well, if it gets one at a tie, we'll make sure to play your footage right next to it.
Yeah, you guys can just roast me if it's one
right next to the winning moment.
Well, we'll see if we haven't had a Timmy Horton. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Did you get to see that when he was eating pizza back at the dock?
Yeah, I didn't get to see it with my own eyes personally, but I remember watching the videos, and I still fish those piles to this day and stuff like that down there. So it's cool.
That is really cool. We haven't seen it dominated down there really for quite a long time.
Last time would be in 2019 when Casey Scanlon won down there, but for an FLW tour. But that was a different time of year. That was end of June. And end of the June. So, I mean, right. I don't know if there was spawning activity still going on or what might have been, going on really in that deal. But it would be cool to kind of see, at least get some coverage of some guys down there, big weight flipping, frogging, the whole deal slopping around.
I like it. This tournament's setting up that way for being an awesome tournament to watch, right? Because it could go anyway. Largemouth, smallmouth, it'll be fun to watch.
Oh, no doubt. And Champlain has a lot of diversity regardless. Any event is typically really good to watch here. But yeah, with the water being up, I truly think that some bigger largemouths will play, and maybe some guys that you wouldn't expect to necessarily be at the top at this one, and a smallmouth event will be up there with some big largemouths. So it could be cool.
It's gonna be the battle. Which color wins, brown or green? It's like or both. Mixed bags or big bags usually.
I'm always trying to mix my bag, and August is when it starts to become feasible. The deep smallmouth. This is your deal. Mm-hmm. What kind of depth zone can we expect these guys to be fishing? Is it 20 to 40 or deeper than that?
Yeah, I definitely think like maybe some guys might be doing some like shallower point type stuff in the morning, maybe like some mid zone 12 to 20, kind of like power fishing or throwing a top water. But as that day goes
hate that
on,
kind of fishing. That's so boring.
Yeah. As the
blasting
day goes
4-pound smallmouth in the shallows. That doesn't sound like any fun.
Yeah. I mean, as the day goes on, though, you'll definitely see a majority of the anglers slide out past 30 feet. That's where it's going to be happening. There is a lot of rock and boulders and veins, points, and stuff like that to target in that 20 to 30 foot section. But I really think that, a lot of them will be targeting those pelagic fish on bait, 40, 50, 60 foot.
60 feet deep. That's crazy, Jocelyn. Who do we have over on the IM board?
Well, I'm definitely confused by this question, so you guys are gonna have to
We'll
help.
interpret.
But Howie wants to know, Alec, how much of a factor is TI going to be a factor
Ty
in
Ticonderoga.
Yep.
In LM? Or are there enough areas above TI that holds LM?
Howie, we're going to need a decoder for you, for Jocelyn to ask your question to us. Well, we talked a lot about that, about the largemouth and the smallmouth and Ticonderoga. Great question, Howie. What's up, Howie? 60 feet deep. You fishing on the bottom in 60 feet of water?
No. Nope.
You're fishing the bait.
Yeah, I mean, it could be 40 foot, it could be 100 foot, and those alewives are only going to be like at least in the top 25 foot of the water column, and smallmouths will be around the same zone every time.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool.
Yep, it's just a game of commitment at that point.
Like how do you make heads or tails of any of that? Like,
yeah,
my boat's in 100, but the bait's in 25, and like,
yeah, I mean, just set your scope to 40 foot down and go.
Wow.
It's just it. Oftentimes, when I first started really searching for those fish on scope, I ended up with more questions than answers a lot of the times.
Yeah,
and it's really something that you kind of just have to put your head down and do all day. And I think there'll be a good amount of anglers doing that this event. And the ones who, get confidence sticking with that for this one are going to do really well. I think you're better than average size smallmouths are all out there doing that. Not that you couldn't catch some big ones on rock and stuff, isolated boulders. There's always a timing for that. But they're definitely feeding up and they're roaming around out there. These fish are so much different than all the other smallmouths in the state, in my mind, and only because, a lot of places I go, the river, Ontario, Cayuga, they're all goby fish, and they're just overall they're kind of lazy. Like they're not going to chase much. They don't have big tails. They don't have big mouths. But Champlain, they're definitely hunters, and they have to cover a lot of water in order to eat what they do and add weight, and they like to move. So the guy that slides around and moves with them is definitely going to do well.
What an interesting takeaway there, Pete, from the Cayuga smallmouth, small tail, Champlain smallmouth, big tail, big mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Like there definitely is, and I'd never really thought about it that way before, but there is 100% something to that.
Yeah, they're hunters, man. They're not lazy. They definitely have to work for their food, and I feel like we probably have
it's interesting,
the smallest average, per fish out of any of those other places that I mentioned. But in a sense, to me, I think they're the coolest. I don't know. Gobies are going to be in here eventually, but I hope they never show up, because I really like how these smallmouths operate, and they're just true hunters out there.
They are. They're aggressive, and it's just
fighters too, man. They have the will to live. They do not give up.
No doubt. Yeah.
When you're talking about fishing that deep, like there's one of the areas of the lake that I've always been fascinated with, but I haven't been able to use forward facing up there much because I haven't been up there in tournaments in recent times. But the middle part of the lake, that big bowl, the giant crystal clear part of Champlain, is often very difficult because, like back at the old school, right, we're looking for structure points, something for them to relate to. Is that part of the lake playing a bigger factor in tournaments these days?
It is. It's still not talked about as much outside of the spawn and stuff like that. It's obviously a big area during the spawn, and a lot of people go down there to fish spawn events. But it definitely can be a factor this time of year, and there's a big population of them. The only thing is there just really is a lot more water. You know, it sets up much differently than the northern New York side and then the inland sea. Um, so although there is a big population and of good fish, you know, there is deeper and just more volume of water, I guess you could say. And with that being said, you know, they're definitely going to use that a lot more. You know, they'll be out super deep, like I was saying, and just roaming around a lot more as opposed to, you know, being on a piece of structure. I feel like they I feel like 80% of the time they're roaming around out here, and we only catch them on rock and stuff, um, when they really pull up to feed or pull up to position themselves for the night, or something in that nature.
That's crazy. What do you got, Justin?
Alec, I mean, I just want to hear about your BFL win on Champlain, because it's so tough being a local guy and winning, you know, in a big event at your home body of water. I mean, Pete knows, Rich knows. Sometimes it kills you. I just want to hear about what your game plan was. Were you running the same stuff that you called them on in the first BFL? I mean, give me a breakdown of that day.
Yeah, I actually did run the same stuff as I ran in the BFL, it was like 2 weeks prior. I spent most of the practice kind of just looking for largemouth, actually trying to dial in how I could catch a big largemouth. With that water being up, they weren't in the places I typically like to catch them. So I spent literally 3 days looking for largemouth, trying to figure it out, basically fishing everything I had. Ended up finding some on the final day of practice, but with conditions during the event, north wind, cloudy, rain, I really wasn't about to go flip around. I just wasn't confident spending that amount of time doing it on a day like that with conditions like that. So I said, you know, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to catch, you know, 20 plus a smallmouth. And then I'm just, with these conditions, I'm going to leave it to the largemouth guys to do their job. And, you know, the first BFL, LaBelle did his job. It was great conditions for it. But the second one was not ideal largemouth conditions. And I guess my plan was the right plan of action.
Sure was.
It's interesting because, you know, cloudy, rainy conditions is not that's not a winning smallmouth condition.
Yeah, it really isn't. Yeah.
How are you able to offset those tough conditions?
And how much of it had to do with knowing where to go when the wind blows a certain direction?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was going to fish this area I had regardless, but you're very right. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to catch them all that well or not. I knew they'd bite at some point in the day. I just knew I'd have to be around them until that happened and kind of stay around them and stay in the area. I knew I was on a huge population of good fish. I mean, there was in the first BFL, it was me and two other boats kind of sharing a giant area. And in this BFL, I was sharing a small area with 10 boats.
Oof.
So, and there's definitely timing involved in there, and a lot of them ended up leaving before the good time period rolled in when they needed to be there. So that was a little bit of a bonus, but I didn't think that they would bite as well as they ended up biting that day. So it was cool. I was able to slide around. One of my first few fish was close to a 5-pounder. And that was the first key fish I caught. I had some smaller ones, 2 and 3s I threw back. But once I caught that really big one, I knew at that moment I'd have a shot at 21 for the day, and I just stuck with it. I knew I needed 4 bites the rest of the day, and I figured I would get them.
Well, you did. That's another amazing win, another amazing tournament for you.
Thank you.
Flying in the face of that rough condition. So
Yeah.
that was well done. What's next, man? You got what's next on your agenda? You got the championship coming up. What do you got?
Yeah, definitely the championship. As far as like immediate schedule, after this, I'm gonna head over to Cayuga for the BFL over there this weekend. Are you guys gonna be there?
Are you guys aren't taking on Cayuga?
I'm at the elites.
Ah, you're at the elites.
Mm.
See, don't try to bait them into take on a Cayuga. we got work to do up at Lake Champlain.
Yeah, knock it off.
Exactly.
You're making it hard on me, Alec. But
No,
but
you're
Cayuga,
always there on Cayuga, Pete. When I'm there, that's why I figured.
I'd love to be there, and I know you know they've had big spring there this year with the smallmouth coming on. Are you gonna do smallmouth there?
Yeah, I feel like I've got the largemouths maybe pretty dialed, but I definitely need to spend more time looking for the smallmouths there. I'm gonna do my best to try and figure out a mixed bag scenario. I think that's the way to go, and we'll see. But it's been taking huge weight to win there.
Huge.
Is that
Huge
right?
weights. Yeah.
Recently? No kidding.
The Fairs Marine Tournament was up there, and do you know what I want to say it was like 31 pounds for 5 or something that won
No,
that
that
tournament.
it was 30 for 6.
30 for 6. 30
Yeah,
for 6.
but I believe a 26-pound limit won like a small deal, like a week and a half ago or something. That was
night.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that still all gobies is what they're figuring is exploding these fish up there?
Yeah, I can imagine. I've seen a good deal of gobies up shallow, small ones, as well as catching bigger ones out deep. So, yeah, as far as the smallmouth, and I believe the largemouth too, they're definitely both eating them. And the way they're shaped in there, they look like they're both eating them. You know,
Yeah.
the largemouth look like a St. Lawrence smallmouth almost. They're just built so funny, but yeah, they're definitely eating them, and I'm gonna try and target a mixed bag this week.
Is do you have any intel on the grass up there? I know they had wiped the grass out on the north end for a couple years, and is it back? Do you know?
Yeah, I know it's been taking a toll. I haven't been up there this year yet, so I don't know for sure what it's looking like. But dropping pellets is not the move. Definitely, it's gonna take a toll on this place. Maybe not now. It's fishing good now, but I fear for the next 5 years. For Cayuga, unfortunately. But that's something really real that a lot of people up here are starting to talk about, and I wouldn't. Cayuga is a special fishery, and I'd hate to see it get destroyed because of dropping pellets.
100%. Yeah, that's just so you can get cleaner access to your boat dock, I guess. But it at Cayuga, and I don't know if I told this story, but the first Federation tournament that I fished there, which was once again back in 1800s, we had 300 competitors in the event, something like that. It was our team tournament, and when it was that's what everybody fished. Everybody had a limit. Every single person in the event, boaters and co's, all had limits of fish. We had never seen anything like it. People were catching 50 fish a day. All of us.
It's crazy.
That is unbelievable.
And now the weights are massive, but like the last BFL that I fished there, I had a solid, bag, but I caught 6 bass.
Yeah, just super low bites, but if you can get the bites, there's such a good average there.
Yeah, that's the beauty of that place. Well, wish you best of luck. I know we all wish we were going up to Cayuga to try to bust a 25 to 30 pound stringer.
Jeez, I know, right?
I'm sure you're gonna. And shout out to our boys at Cortland Line.
Right around the corner.
Master Braid is assembled right there, basically on the banks of Cayuga.
Oh, no way! That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah. They've been there for almost 100 years, not quite that long, but they've been making fly line forever. And you guys need to go check out their Master Braid line. It's amazing stuff. It's made right there. And we got to get a tournament on Seneca. I hear Seneca is like the gem up there right now.
That's what I've heard. I've never been, but I've definitely been hearing a lot about it this year.
I have too. I think people all tried to keep it secret, but now it's out, and we got to get up there. But I wish you the best at your upcoming events, and thanks for coming on. Before I go, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's winning this week?
Kyowa Fujita.
All right.
Wow. He's got 12 forward-facing sonar units on his boat.
Yep. If the largemouth don't play, I think it'll be someone like him.
Fujita. Okay. Well, he certainly has gotten some chops, man. He is really killing it this year out on his rookie year out on the elites.
I think it's only the beginning for that guy. I've been following him far before he made it to America, and he's one of the best.
Wow, that's pretty progressive. You were following his Japanese AOYs.
Oh yeah, yep. I think he's won everything you could possibly win over there.
Yeah. Well, he's on his way to do it here. Good pick. So you're going, well, if he wins it, he's going after smallmouth. So I think you have made your claim, and we appreciate you doing that and hanging out with us again. And I mean, we're going to have you on again. You keep winning, so we'll see you next time.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Have a great day. And what a good deal. Great insight, man. On what I was thinking about while he was talking about just migrating out into 100 feet of water.
Yeah.
Looking at bait fish reminds me of how you fish grass. Like other people can't do it that long. You know what I mean?
Right.
You fish, you're persistent to the point of either win or failure.
Right.
But you to your own fault, to a fault, like Christie does. He's like, I'm stubborn to a fault, but it gets you in the W's. That's how these guys are fishing that deep water. It's just like it to them.
I never thought about that.
They're just investing like, this is it.
Right.
This is where I'm going, and I'm going to commit to this pattern, good, bad, or otherwise.
Confidence in it, They have confidence to do it that way.
Yeah.
Just like we have confidence to fish grass. I guess that it's an interesting way to look at it.
You get a deep water guy out on a grass bed, and I've seen it a million times, like, I can't fish around all this grass all the time. They want to immediately get away from it. It's pretty unique, but great insight from Alec, as expected. We got some prizes. Let's give some stuff away, guys. We've got a like and share contest going on. Great duo of Waterwood baits coming your way for the winner of our like and share contest, as well as a grand prize, including some Cortland Master Braid, which we talked about, a Bass University rod sleeve, and some DT16s. By the way, one of my all-time favorite crankbaits when you're fishing for those smallies, like he's talking about,
right
up in that anywhere from 5 to 20 foot zone.
Yeah.
I love cranking for them. It gets going this time of year sometimes, usually a little bit later in the year, but you can get on that crankbait bite this time using anything from a DT10 to DT16, depending on their depth. Great little smallmouth bait that people don't always talk about it for smallmouth, but it's one of my faves. Giving away some of those for our grand prize question. Rich, do you have that one ready to go?
I do. I have the question ready to go. Here it is. It was mentioned during the show, so you had to be paying attention to the show. When was the last major tournament won out of Ticonderoga, and who won it? When was the last major event won out of Ticonderoga, and who was the winner?
We had 2 winners mentioned.
The most recent.
I know. I think it's going to confuse people.
Yeah.
Might cause them some trouble because
from the brain of Riz.
Yeah,
the brain of Riz.
two winners were mentioned on this show.
What
Get the right one.
What are your beliefs on like the moon playing part in fishing?
That's a great question. The moon phase.
Because this past weekend there was a meteor shower that I was out watching down the shore, and while watching the meteor shower, you could just hear so many fish splashing in the water, and I didn't know that had anything to do with it.
Wow. I never heard of the meteor shower influence. We'll have to get that one.
It was really cool. I saw at least 45 shooting stars. It was amazing.
Wow.
And I could hear all the fish flapping in the back.
But
That's
to
crazy.
answer your question, I think about the moon a lot. Some people do, some people don't. But yeah, big moon guy. Big moon guy.
Rich.
Sure. Around the spawn, I think about the moon a lot.
Sitting around drinking his morning coffee, thinking about the moon.
Sounds right.
And you're not alone, Rich,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of people that put a lot of weight in it. They have actual tables. What are those charts called?
Solunar charts, solunar feeding charts.
Yep. And they have, they're positive. How does it work? I don't pay attention.
There's a major feeding
major
period
and minor,
and a minor feeding
windows.
period.
Yeah.
You know, I think it just, the reason that I think about it so much is because of how much we fish a tide and how much the moon has to do with the tide.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of why it, you know, I think about it a lot. But
well, in our world of tidal water fishing, it is everything. Right? The moon dictates everything that goes on in the feed, bite windows, that whole bit. Absolutely a big factor, but people, a lot of anglers value that, you know, or pay a lot of attention to those major and minor windows as it relates to wherever you're fishing.
Sure.
Great Lakes or other bodies of water, you know, reservoirs. So it's a big factor in, you know, in how people predict what the fish are going to do.
Right.
I've not paid much attention to it because it's like I've always been a tournament guy, and you got to go catch them no matter what. And you know, whether we have a major or minor, I'm just going to go try to plant myself where I think the best place to be is. And I've ignored it. Honestly, I've ignored it, and I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. I know there's a lot of guys like me, and there's a lot of guys like you.
Yeah.
That absolutely think it's one of the most important things in fishing. You know, the swim bait guys.
We got a funny answer to our trivia question. BKJ said the last time a major event was won out of Ticonderoga was the Dean in 1890.
That was mentioned. There you are. That could be the correct answer.
That's not the answer we were looking for, but we did find the right answer we were looking for pretty quick from St. Cress, and that was 2019. And Casey Scanlon was the winner of that event. So
awesome! Congratulations.
I'm gonna name BKJ just for that comment. He's gonna be the subscriber of this week. We're gonna send you something special. So send over your address as well.
I don't appreciate that prize being awarded at this time, Jocelyn.
I was waiting for something to stand out to me, and that did.
All right, well, that it did. But I was thinking about Keith over at Black Talon Lures and the glide baits.
Yeah.
And how important he finds the moon phase on whether or not they're going to commit. In other words, when the moon phase is on those minor windows, they'll follow, they'll track, they'll not commit. But when it's other than that, you know, the majors, I guess, you find those big 5 to 10 pounders committing, and that's pretty awesome. Shout out to Black Talon Lures, building some amazing glide baits. Did somebody else crack on me, Jocelyn?
No,
I see a smile.
But St. Cress was thanking Dan for not answering the trivia question. He did not.
He must have got called away.
Well, we still have our like and share though, and let me do the little spinny thing. And our like and share winner is, I think this is a new person, Tracy Norway.
Hey,
Lion.
Tracy.
Tracy won our
Thank
like
you,
and
Tracy.
share.
Thanks for liking and sharing. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, we got some really amazing content coming out of Bass University this week, and get yourself signed up for a 3-month subscription at a ridiculously low price right now to get yourself all Bass-U'd up. Go check it out at bassu.tv.
Yeah, we have great member benefits. So if you are a member benefit, you can go over and get your Epoch battery for discounted, Hobie eyewear for discounted, AquaView over at Tackle Direct. Yes, we have member benefits, but right now Tackle Direct, they have a huge deal going on with the AquaView 5.0, I think it is. Yeah,
Micro.
I
got to give a shout out to Epoch batteries, guys. Check them out. I was charging my batteries before my last trip, and I don't know how this happened because I'm so sharp all the time, but somehow I put the negative on the positive and the positive on the negative on my charging system, and it didn't phase anything.
Ooh.
It actually shut down and prevented charging as it has to, but I was appreciative of all the I don't know,
fail safes
in place for guys like me. Appreciate that. Batteries are amazing.
We've all done it.
The Epoch 36 volt is officially my favorite battery of all time. Now that Jake is fishing all the time, we're going out. I'm sometimes going 2-3 days, not even worried about a charge, still holding 60% and up.
It's amazing.
It delivers big. So go check those batteries out. Love those. And Hobie sunglasses. I see you wearing your Hobies, Jocelyn. And I was out just recently fishing, and I was teaching the kids and one of the fathers that came out with us, and the importance of wearing those glasses is not just for sight fishing when you're dealing with the spawn, but being able to identify. We're on the river. Right. You got to be able to see the targets, the wood that's 2 feet down in stained water. Yeah. You can see them with the Sightmaster Plus lens. You can see the grass edges. You know that dark hue of an eelgrass, clump.
Oh yeah,
that's way off in the distance.
That's juice.
You cannot see them if you don't have a good quality pair of sunglasses.
That glare, you won't be able to see.
You will miss the target,
for sure.
Whether you're a grass fisherman or you're sight fishing or you're looking for targets. Go check them out. Comfortable. You'll love them. Guys, thank you. We love you. We appreciate